Hey everybody, a wonderful good afternoon to all of you. This is Bob DiGiacomo, Bermuda Bob Leadership and Intentional Growth Coaching, and I am coming to you from beautiful and sunny Bermuda. Another day, another dollar. I know you've heard that phrase. Hey, I'm going to read something to you, so that means my eyes are going to just shift a little bit over here so I can read it word for word. There is power in significance. But it requires that you take the journey and not get stuck at the destination. Of particular importance, there are two factors: time and direction. Are you wandering around because you have not identified the direction of your travel? And of course, unless you know something about time that I'm not aware of, we have no idea just how much time each of us has been given on this earth that we reside on. So your use of time, or your misuse of time, is so precious. And my questions to you today: what is your why? And the second question: are you being coached / mentored to help you determine the direction of travel, the direction of your travel, and making the best use of your time? I have here a gift that I received not too long ago from the John Maxwell team. It's a clock and a compass. I don't know if you can see the compass, but it's right there. And of course, here's the clock. And if you were to look at the time, you would notice that time is standing still. Yes, it's the wrong time because it's clearly not 11:20 a.m. It's actually 4:02 p.m. Bermuda time. I don't know what time it is where you are. It depends what time zone you're in. For some of you who may get to see this, you're actually seeing this tomorrow, because you are so far ahead of me to my east that it's already on its way to being tomorrow. And yet there are a whole bunch of you to my west where it's still either early morning or even perhaps last night. Wow. But we've got a compass and we've got some time. And then I have another object here, which I need you to imagine a little bit. This is supposed to signify an hourglass. Inside this little bottle, I've lost count. I tried counting the grains of sand in this thing once. No, not really. I think I would get frustrated and lose track. But as you know, with an hourglass, when the sand runs out, you have the ability to turn it over and get a fresh amount of sand. Now, fortunately, the top is on securely so that when I turn it over, all the sand doesn't rush out. But I want you to visualize all the sand rushing out. And I want you to visualize either that each grain of sand is either a second in your life, a minute in your life, a day in your life. Good God, it could even be a year in your life. I think you have a bunch of years here. In fact, there may be enough sand in this little bottle to be the entire millennia since Earth began as far as days are concerned. Like I said, I'm not even going to try counting the grains of sand. But again, it's about time and direction. How much time do you have? How much time have you been given? That is the unknown in our mathematical equation. We never know the true answer to that. I mean, if we did, my gosh. But as far as the direction that we're traveling in, we have control over that. Now, I always remember back to the classic movie Lincoln, and which, by the way, I will be starting a course shortly, which is called On Lincoln Leadership. And if you haven't studied Abraham Lincoln, it's got nothing to do with Republican, Democrat. United States or anything else. It's got to do with a man and his leadership skills and how he overcame a lot of insurmountable odds. However, he made a comment in this movie about true north. True north. True north. What good is it knowing where true north is? In other words, what good is it knowing the direction you're going to travel in that true direction if you don't take into account the chasms, the pitfalls, the obstacles that lie around you? Is your mind so set on traveling due north that as soon as you stumble and fall the first time in a pit or you come upon a hill that you give up? Now, of course, that's what the purpose of your coach is for, to help you through all of that. Now, I'm not on this thing advertising the fact that I'm a coach and you need to contact me right away and, hey, let me take you on as a client. You know, that's obviously a choice you need to make. I am available technically because I don't just take anybody when I coach. It has to be a composite here that takes place. But time, again, hourglass, get to reset the sand. But what if for some reason the cap got left off and when you went to reset, you lost a lot of time? You know, there's a lot of significance in what I'm saying if you're really reading between the lines. You've got to make every grain of sand in your hourglass count. What also happens if your sand gets wet? Gets all clogged up. It's not going to flow that well. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that time comes to a standstill, but it may mean that you're not going anywhere. And eventually, your time on this planet is going to come to a standstill. And of course, I could go into one of my other talks and blogs that I wrote. What is the one song that you will be remembered by? Have you found that song yet? Have you written that song yet? Have you figured out what the main thing that's going to be the main thing in your life is going to be, that is going to remind people that you were on this planet? It's unfortunate that statistics show that generally by the time we get to the great-grandparents of people's lives, we start to forget just who they were and who went before us. I remember in the movie Troy that Achilles was told by his mother, you may decide not to go off to fight in this war. That would be the Trojan War. And you'll have sons and daughters and you'll have a wife and raise a family, etc., etc. But if you go off and fight that war, even though I know I will never see you again, you will be remembered through the ages. Not saying you got to go fight the war in Troy. Not saying you got to go fight a war at all. I'm just asking you today to be cognizant of your time and your direction, because there is power in that significance. And make the grains of sand in your hourglass work to your advantage. Or you can go watch TV and let time just go by. So that's it. There you go. You have it. For those of you that are expecting Hurricane Florence to be upon you shortly, certainly we send all our prayers. Bermuda was blessed that it went by. It's a funny thing about time. It goes by too. See you soon. Make it a great and significant, and be intentional like you've never been before. And should you want to discuss the possibility of a coaching experience, contact me. and let's talk. All the best. God bless. See you soon.